Hello everybody, and thank you for visiting our channel here at Herbs Healings. Today we're going to be talking to our expert aromatherapist, Karen Ravensburger. Karen is great at what she does. She loves working with oils, and she has made some blends for me personally, which were awesome. So Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started with oils and exactly like what you do?
Sure, sounds good. Thanks for having me, by the way. It's a lot of fun. Been waiting to do this. Yeah, I started with essential oils about 8 years ago. Started small, like a lot of people. Most people have tried lavender, who love essential oils. That's a starting point. And I had great success with it, as many people have, and it just went from there. Started to use other ones, and I saw great benefit for me and my family, our health, overall well-being, and it's just built over time. Noticeable improvement in all areas. And then it got to the point where I wanted to know more. There are some great products out there, great blends out there, but I wanted to do it myself. And many of us act as the healers in our own home. And so I just wanted to be more empowered to make choices, prepare things to target specific needs. And you have to know a little bit of chemistry to do that. So a lot of the education that I went through to earn my certification was focused on the chemistry of the oils and other factors, but it's just been remarkable, and I'm now in the midst of certification for clinical aromatherapy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I am at Englewood Hospital at the Graff Center for Integrative Medicine. Really pleased and honored to be an aromatherapist over there, working with patients and staff.
That's great. So now, being in the hospital, you probably see the most common issues that people want to address using aromatherapy or just essential oils in general.
Absolutely.
What would you say are those most common ailments or issues or whatever you would?
Well, I think most of your subscribers and your customers would be sitting and nodding and going, that's me when I say stress and anxiety.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Stress and anxiety, right? Inflammation, which is tied to that very much, I think are at the heart of almost any ailment, any situation, instability, imbalance in our bodies. So I just want to say two things. Aromatherapy A is fantastic for addressing stress and anxiety, and there's many different oils you can use in different ways to help with that issue. But I want to emphasize that it's not just a pretty smell. It's not just a pleasing aroma that helps put your body in that relaxed state. That's certainly part of it. So many people love the aroma of lavender or other florals, for example. And that can be very calming and sedating. But there is real chemistry behind it, and I can't emphasize that enough. So, recommending a specific oil or oil blend is a highly individualized thing. And the good news is there are so many great choices to help target stress and anxiety, and that's a starting point, I think, for helping with other issues. And look, aromatherapy is not a licensed, FDA-regulated profession. I have to say that. So I think that there's a lot of maybe misinformation out there, and reason for people to pause for a moment and ask a lot of questions. And it might be natural, but there's still real chemistry and real safety considerations too, as well. So the science is important, but again, can help with that. Pleasing aroma is great, but the chemistry is there, and a host of other benefits that you can enjoy as well from that.
Now, I'm sure there's a lot of us out there, just like I was very skeptical about oils because I said, well, how is a little oil going to help me? I mean, I'm so stressed, Karen. How is just a little bit of oil going to help me? I just couldn't see it until obviously I tried it and it worked, and I was amazed. So,
well, I'm not telling you that there's any one oil that's going to, if you have real, if you're having stress and anxiety because of a dangerous or hurtful very unhealthy situation in your life, certainly you need other kinds of support.
Of course, yes.
Okay? Medical issues, same thing. I would never say, you know, we're not licensed. I would never tell anyone you don't need a traditional healthcare provider.
Right.
They're a partner, okay? But, you know, it's just part of what I would say is a multimodal approach to your health. So no one drop of oil is going to cure the world's problems, but when incorporated into the bigger lifestyle where you're practicing healthy habits and can really tip the needle, you know, into a new direction.
Right, yeah, definitely. It's not meant to replace any doctor's recommendations or anything like that, but it definitely helps, and in my case, it definitely like took the edge off, and it made me feel a lot better.
Right.
So like right now, I'm like in the middle of a cold that I just can't seem to kick. What in that situation, which I'm sure it's the middle of the winter. Well, it's not the middle of the winter, but yeah, it's getting cold out there. So a lot of people are, you know, coming down with colds and like stuff.
I just left an office, you know, of people complaining of all kinds of things, or just returning to the office, or wherever you are, you know, kids coming from school, bringing who knows what with them. So yeah, we're all exposed to that, and you know, in a nutshell, prevention is the best medicine, isn't it? Okay, yes. So that's why I say there's so many different ways you can incorporate aromatherapy, essential oil therapy, you know, into your home environment,
right,
to build a healthy, strong immune system so you're more resilient. That's really what it's at. That said, if something does get you, no one's ever saying you're not going to get sick, but there are ways that you can use essential oils to kick something out more quickly, nip it in the bud, or definitely shorten the duration of the healing process.
Right, okay. And which would you say is the best method, or does it apply? It depends on the situation. Like right now I'm coming down with a cold. Would you suggest I just take a roll-on and maybe roll it on my wrist and maybe, you know, smell it, or actually get an inhaler, or actually use a diffuser? Mm-hmm. Which would be the most?
Yes, yes, and yes. So first thing I say to anybody, I really stress green cleaning in the home. Okay, it sounds wimpy, doesn't it? Mm. But I could talk for hours about the abundance of research that is out there, that it's there, that documents and proves the antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial properties of many essential oils, okay? The tests have been done, the evidence is there. So I start with green cleaning. If you, throughout your home, floors, ceilings, walls, and oh my gosh, especially bathrooms, if you are using essential oils as part of a healthy green cleaning, chemical-free cleaning regimen, you are supporting your body systems and you're not compromising your immune system. Okay? So that's first and foremost. And I always just give this example. When you're in the shower, think about how you steam up the shower, okay? That, you know, the mirror's all foggy.
Right.
You have just vaporized any chemical, any molecule that's sitting on your glass or your tile or in the sink.
Right. I never even thought of it that way.
So you're
actually inhaling it.
You're inhaling it.
Oh, wow.
You are, yeah, actually, and
that's scary.
It's very scary.
It is.
Thank you. It's very scary. Steaming is a great way to use essential oils to support your respiratory system, to help prevent or kick something out. Think about that as a powerful healing, right, strategy, and think about it. Think about how negative and the impact on your body when you're breathing in the wrong kinds of chemicals, the wrong kinds of things that are going to compromise and chip away at your immune system and leave it more vulnerable. So the great thing about green cleaning, using, you know, for example, I use baking soda, Castile soap, or vinegar, or you know, other, I'm blanking, but you know, there's other ones too, as a foundation into which you use essential oils. When you're simultaneously putting a beautiful aroma in the air that just, you know, your everyday use, and certainly when you shower, you're releasing those wonderful, healthy, supportive molecules in the air.
Right.
So that's good to breathe in on so many levels.
Of course.
So I can't, anyway, so that's where I start with green cleaning for
Okay.
sure. Prevention is the best medicine. So from there, look, maybe you do come down with something, all right? There's some nasty, germs out there and bacteria that become very resistant to, to the treatments that we have today, the medications. So what do? Yes, there are multiple ways to use essential oils, both on your body and to take them in, aromatically. And those are the two best ways to use them. So you're right. I don't have one handy. I have one in my purse at all times, but I know you sell one here.
Oh, the inhaler.
Those personal inhalers that you can take on the go, tuck in your pocket, are a great, easy way to,
I know, I love mine.
take in the aroma. I know. I always joke. I'm often found at a traffic light, driving out and about. Gives you that minute and a half to relax, and I'm breathing deep, taking yoga breaths, right? Breathing that in deep, and just, again, little bits, little habits that really work over time. So inhalers can be made not just for prevention and to boost immune system, but you can concoct something specifically designed to, mucolytics or expectorants that can help clear and open airways, to ones that have antibacterial or antifungal properties. Tea tree is amazing in combination with others to help target, the infection. Other, components, like I said, just boost your immune system and help you recover faster. So inhalation, that's one way. And you can also keep it private to yourself when you use an inhaler and you don't disturb anyone around you. Nothing wrong with the good old drop it in your hands, cup it,
Right.
inhale it that way. That's fine. Also applying in a carrier oil, massaging into the chest, especially at night. You breathe it in, it actually provides relief, just applying to the area where you're experiencing a problem, so that's wonderful. Diffusing, fantastic. You're purifying the air, putting those healthy molecules in the air, and today's diffusers are fantastic, and you can just have that run throughout the evening, so that's great. And steaming, what a fabulous preventive and proactive way to tackle something. A couple of drops in that bowl of steamy water, towel over the head, close your eyes please.
Yeah.
Eucalyptus
Oh
and
my
then,
gosh.
yeah.
In your eyes, forget
You
it.
don't want that. And just take the time to breathe deeply, hold it in, for a good few minutes, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. If kids come home from school and they're carrying germs and all snotty, or in my case, I know there were germs floating around the environment I just came from, I'll go home and maybe do a steam just as a preventive measure.
All right, so that's
So-
good. So, like you said, the most common topics are anxiety and stress,
Definitely.
colds,
Right.
and what else would we have?
Well,
people
like I
are-
said before, inflammation is a big problem. So I think that by targeting stress and anxiety, I think that's more as a preventive
Mhm.
for inflammatory situations in your body. But inflammation or congestion
Mhm.
can look a little different. So congestion, for example, could be respiratory congestion. But think about swelling.
Okay.
Think about swelling situations. That's really a congestion in the body where you want to promote movement. Just as you want to expectorate, you want to move fluids through your body where they're built up. And there are a lot of oils that you can apply topically to help with, that kind of movement. Your lymphatic system, right, that has to keep flowing. So inflammation can be tackled or custom blends created. So while you're kind of breathing things in to help, and they work internally in that way, and in your bloodstream, you can apply to the topically to the area that's causing you problems. And inflammation can be hot. Have you ever, pulled a muscle or injured yourself and almost felt that area that's maybe an inflamed feeling, a burning sensation. So you want to tackle the inflammation, but you want to cool the area down. So some oils have a warming property to them. Some have a cooling property to them. So, you know, you really want to work with somebody, ideally, who's going to give you some guidance on which oil is going to be best for that specific situation and your overall health situation, and you know, meet the very specific needs that you have.
Right.
One size doesn't always fit all.
Right. Now I know these are the two questions that I always have. How do you pick an oil? Like, there's so many out there. There's, you know, you can go to your local drugstore, they have a certain brand. You can go to your supermarket, they have another brand. You can go to your, you know, any place really. Everywhere seems to be selling all kinds of oils now. So how do you know what's going to be safe and most beneficial for you to inhale, for you to breathe?
That is an excellent question. Excellent question. I'm actually asked that one all the time. So I first want to say it's very exciting to see more and more people open to and adopting, you know, more holistic, natural methods of supporting their health and wellness. And you've got it all right here. So that's exciting. But a couple of different things happen. Seeing that interest, you've got more and more companies that are getting on board to offer these products. And I'd like to think that they're all following really rigorous, you know, quality control procedures. Not always. You've got some people that are jumping on the bandwagon and putting some stuff out there that really isn't any better than just, you know, fake chemical smells.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you know? In summary, I'll tell you, a good company worth their salt is going to make available to you, the consumer, something that's called a GCMS report. It's hard to spit out, but it's gas chromatography mass spectrometry.
Wow. Okay. And what kind of information are we looking for in this report?
So third-party testing is critical. Okay, so it has to be done by an independent lab, and they're out there. And that GCMS report is going to tell you the majority of the chemical components in that essential oil and what quantity they're in. And it's going to confirm that there's no pesticides, so that it's organic, that there's no adulterants or fillers. Right. Okay? So,
wow, these are things that I didn't even know that I'm assuming other oils have.
So you can go into a store, and I have done this, you know, I call it secret shopper. You know, when you're looking at the shelf, you're like, okay, if I didn't know any different, you know, how would I pick? What would I pick? And I always give an example. I was looking at a lavender once, labeled organic, you know, seemed great, pure, natural, all those great, but you got to be careful with those words, right? What does that mean? And I learned a couple of things when I got it home, and I took out the magnifying glass, and this was a bottle of lavender. So let me start by saying there was no salesperson who knew anything about the product, so I was on my own. So that's that right away. Got it home, and I realized that the oil was distilled from the entire lavender plant. So that's the flower, the leaves, the stem, everything. Right. And while it might be fine to put some aroma in your house, if you're truly looking for therapeutic benefits from your essential oils, yeah, that's not going to do you so good because the flowering portion of the lavender plant is where the therapeutic molecules
You see,
are.
and this is why we need people like Karen, because I would have never known that. I would have said, oh, it's a whole plant. As long as you're using the whole plant, that should be fine.
It seems great, the whole plant. No, you have to know,
yeah.
right. And then, you know, look, hopefully you're working with a company that's working with distillers that, again, adopt a very rigorous quality control process, testing along the way, because it has to go from plant, and there's a few stops along the way until it gets into the bottle and into your home, right? Mm-hmm. So testing along the way to make sure the integrity of the product is still there. And I'm sorry, but all of those measures cost money, you know? So if you see a $9.99 frankincense in Walmart. Don't buy it.
Yeah. No, common sense.
So GCMS report, and other things that lend to the quality of the oil, the climate, the soil, the time that that plant was harvested. If you're picking that lavender too early in the season or too early in the blooming process, it's going to be a different product than if you wait to a different stage. So many different factors.
Yeah, I've heard that you need like so many lavender plants, for example, just to make one little bottle of essential oil.
Yes, this space would need to be filled with a plant material to make a bottle.
Right. So that's why, if it doesn't cost a lot, then you have to, do your homework.
So keep that in mind. If cost is an issue, and who is it not an issue for, the average 15 milliliter bottle has about 250 drops of oil in it. So think about it. When you steam or you make a blend to apply topically, you're often only using 2, maybe 3 drops of a given oil at a time.
Right.
So it can be a very cost-effective way of staying healthy. I know I'd rather spend my money on that than drugs or co-pays.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah.
And now, real quick, tell us a little bit about blends, because I know that a lot of people say, they just look it up themselves. They're like, what can I use for, stress? And they'll find one oil and they'll use that, or, but Karen here is an expert at blends. So explain to us how, for example, oil for stress, how different blends might work.
Absolutely. So sometimes just a single oil is great. There is absolutely nothing wrong with just a straight blend, topical, or just breathing in lavender, just as an example. No problem. But really, I think if you're looking to tackle an issue, you have to move beyond just what's an oil good for, blah, okay? So we have to look at your whole health profile. Are you taking any medications? Do you have any pets in the house? What makes your situation feel better or feel worse? So again, I can't emphasize enough, and I'm sorry if I'm being redundant, but you really have to take time to work with someone who's going to get to know your specific needs. Gosh, I'm forgetting the question.
The blends, what the blends.
Yeah. So there's a great synergy when blending. Again, nothing wrong with a straight oil by itself. And within any given oil, there's a beautiful synergy among all of the chemical components. But sometimes when you blend them together, and a great example is a clary sage, let's say, with lavender, you've got now a synergy between those components and the lavender components, and they actually amplify the effects of each other.
Right.
That's cool stuff.
Yes,
so,
definitely. That sounds great. That sounds delicious.
Very exciting.
I smell that.
And you have to know, you have to be aware of the chemical composition and the key properties of these oils in order to blend smart. Getting back to your specific preferences, and we were just talking about this before, maybe you just really don't like the smell of flowers in general. You don't like floral aromas. One size doesn't fit all. There we go again. So did you know that there are other oils that have a very similar chemical composition that mirrors that of lavender, but is a completely different aroma? Okay,
wow.
So one that comes to mind, 2 actually right away. I think of petitgrain, and I think of coriander. Coriander, yeah, an herb we cook with.
Wow.
Both have high, fairly significant level of chemical components, molecules that lavender has. Such a different aroma. It might be beautiful together to either, minimize the floral aroma, or you could just do without something like lavender altogether and come up with a blend that maybe has a more lemony or earthy smell, and is going to give you those same benefits. So
that's
yeah,
amazing.
so
That's awesome.
that question, what do I use for
Right.
XYZ? It's a loaded
There's
question.
so many oils out there, and so many different, it sounds like there's an oil out there for everybody and a blend for everybody.
There is a blend for everybody. So, I would encourage you, to work with an aromatherapist, and if you do and they ask you a lot of questions, answer them thoughtfully and in detail, because it matters.
Yes.
You know?
Definitely. I mean, like I said, I worked with Karen. She made a blend for me, and I'm so happy. It really helped me, and it worked great.
But we're going to work on that cold, though.
Yes, this cold that's coming on. I need to get rid of it.
And I think it's no coincidence that you had some work going on in your house, and maybe some
yeah, I never put that
chemical
yeah.
molecules floating in the air that
Yeah.
aren't exactly immune supportive.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I find the timing of all of that very interesting. So
Yes, we're going to have to talk about that and work on it. But anyway, thank you, Karen, so much for all the information.
my pleasure, and thank you for indulging me in talking about all of this.
Karen can be reached at...
Well, do you want to start with some social media?
Yeah, you can give whatever information you want to give, where people, if you have any questions about any blends or any oils that you might have, experimented with or want to, you want to talk to Karen or shoot her a question.
Maybe we could put it in the comments,
Yeah, we'll also put it in the comments, yeah.
underneath.
Yeah.
But email is always a great way to reach me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Karen, Karen .Ravensbergen. We'll spell that out for you, @gmail.com.
Yeah.
I also have a couple of Facebook pages. One is more of a business page, and I'm going to get her here. I was encouraged to have a business page because people could leave reviews.
Right.
And you need to do that.
Yes, so definitely. Yes, I have to.
So there's a business page and a group with 100 some odd members that both go by the name Aromatherapy by Karen. Okay, so if you find both of those, like the pages or request to join the group and start scrolling, you will see some very poorly done videos, but you'll see a lot of articles. I don't share articles unless I really think that there's something of great value. So you'll see articles or recipes, lots of great information there so that you can start your learning. So those two Facebook pages, and email are probably the best ways to get in touch with me.
We'll definitely put your information down bottom, and also Karen works here with us at Earth's Healings. So if you could always contact her through here also.
Definitely.
And I think you've covered so much. Thank you
one
so
video.
much. Thank you so much for all the information.
Tell us what you want to hear about, though. Tell us what questions you have, and maybe we can.
Yeah, definitely. Leave some comments or questions down below, and we'll definitely answer them.
Awesome.
And thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video.
Do it.
Thank you so much. Namaste.